Boxing.
So welcome to 5 Live Boxing, and it's a special edition live from an old dance hall, a cinema in London's East End, not 100 metres from the Blind Beggar pub, and crime aficionados will know exactly where that is and the significance of that. And we're back for a show and a series of fights that we thought were lost forever. I want to take you back to the 8th of September, the day the Queen died. That's when this show collapsed. However, somehow it stayed together. 7 Olympians, 2 unbelievable, majestic world title fights. Claressa Shields, Savannah Marshall, both unbeaten, fighting for 4 of the middleweight championship belts. And at super featherweight, Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgardner. And we're here today for the press conference. Here today to get a feel and a taste of a night and a series of fights that we thought we've lost. They were salvaged, and I'm delighted by that. You'll hear from Savannah Marshall. You'll hear from Alicia Baumgardner. You'll hear from Claressa Shields. Top-ranked president Todd duBoef will also join me. This is 5 Live Boxing, and I'm Steve Bunce. This is a very special edition. So now I'm joined, I'm actually at the press conference, it's just finished. I'm joined by Ben Shalom, who's put the whole thing together. Ben, 35 days ago we were ready to go and it got called off. We've pulled them all back, every single one of them. 7 Olympians, all of the women. It's an amazing feat you've managed to pull it all together, and a very lively press conference indeed, to say the least.
Very lively. I was worried what else they would have to talk about after the first press conference, which was an incredible spectacle, one of the best press conferences I ever witnessed. But today, it shows how deep the rivalries are. They've been going on for a long time, particularly Claressa and Savannah. It means so much. The attendance here, again, is ridiculous. The interest has only grown. And I'm glad that we're back. I'm glad that it didn't happen in that circumstance. And here we are with a celebration that we've never seen before.
The way it went down is that we had a fantastic press conference, 3 different series of tables full of women, all of the Olympians, all of the champions. That was fantastic. And then we got rumours. They came through. 3 hours later, 6:10 at night, they were confirmed. The following day, after a very long day, at 3 minutes to 3, the fight was called off. It was a long and draining day, not just for the women, but also for you, Ben. When did you feel in your heart, your gut feeling, that the show was going to have to be cancelled?
I think when the Premier League cancelled, my heart sunk. Usually boxing will follow suit with the Premier League. We saw that in COVID. We've seen that many times before. It's a leading sport in this country. And to be honest, this is a combat sport event. This is a serious event. It's a high-value, high-octane entertainment event. It couldn't have gone on in a subdued way.
The way you wanted it to go on.
This is anything but subdued.
Yes.
This is ridiculous. This is extravagant.
Yeah.
This is something we've not seen before. I knew that it wasn't going to go ahead at that moment, and it was a very, very difficult time, but it shows we made the right decision, because here we are and look at it. And
we're right behind us, in fact. I'm just pointing out that all of the women, or most of the women, are doing a sort of face-up. There's about 14, 13 women in that line over there. Ben, we knew that date, the 15th. Back on the 9th of September, we knew the date, the 15th of October, was free. But being free and putting a fight together and getting every single one of the women back, that's a very different kettle of fish, a very different story. When did you start working on it, and were there actually genuine doubts that you could pull off what looked back then impossible, by the way?
It did look doubtful. Claressa Shields had a commitment, an MMA commitment. We had 3 of you've got the main event and then the co-main event. 3 of them are American. That's not easy in 4 weeks, flying back there.
Yes.
We did think it was going to look different at one stage. Luckily, this fight and these fights mean so much to everyone on the card that this was too special to miss. And in the end, everyone worked extremely hard over the next week to get recontracted, to get redrafted. It was difficult for the fighters because they had to take off. The camps were disturbed. But all I can say is these guys are elite professionals. These are the biggest fights in women's boxing, and that's why we're here again today.
And we've ended up with a show it's bigger. Bizarrely, it's bigger than what we had on the 9th of September. I'm convinced of that.
It is bigger, and that's just time, because this rivalry you cannot fabricate. Now more people know about this rivalry. More people know about the size of the the size of the fight, it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger, as you say. And yeah, it's one of those special moments that I don't think will happen again, if I'm honest.
No, Ben, we've got the situation where we're going to have a packed house or near enough packed house, and it is buzzing, it is talking. Taxi drivers talking about it. People, I always have a measure, it's a simple measure. When someone taps me on the shoulders or on the arm as they get off the tube or a train, and they say who's going to win, and they don't even have to say what fight it is or what they're talking about. And I'm getting that with this fight here. Although I'm not sure if they mean Baumgardner or Mayer, because that to me is unbelievable. Let me ask you this, Ben. Is this, and does this feel like just an event that's taken on a life of its own? Because it was a nice idea on paper, and then we were nearly there, and now we're back, and it just seems to me like it's just taken on. It's become like a living beast.
It is a beast, and it's one of those things. When we made the idea that this was going to be an all-female card, it was a risk. It seems obvious now, but I promise you, people were saying we're crazy. How can you put on that? No one will come. So to actually be here and have this level of interest, it has taken on a life of its own. It's testament to the fights that are going on. And with all the darkness that surrounded our sport last week, actually, timing-wise, we all needed this. I didn't enjoy last week. It doesn't matter whether I'm involved. We're involved in boxing, and we're involved in the sport of boxing. So timing is fantastic. It's unbelievable. We don't have to do anything more now. It's just going to build and build, and Saturday night's going to be a spectacle like we've
Ben,
not.
that's absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And what a night we've got. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, Steve.
Ben Shalom there, the promoter, and one of the things I didn't ask him about, and there's time for that, is about the concept of rematches, because both of these fights feel like they could end up in rematches. Now, a couple of weeks before the fights were cancelled, I travelled up to Macclesfield, to a remote location, a hard-to-find location, and sat down with Peter Fury and Savannah Marshall to talk through her rivalry with Claressa Shields, to talk through the fight. Well, that saw the light of day, the interview. It was fantastic, if I don't mind saying so. But now we're back, 35 days later. And I called up with Sav again, and the first thing I asked her was quite simple: how she dealt with the 5-week break.
Well, I've been here before, haven't I? And when Peter tested positive,
absolutely,
COVID, so
that 3-week delay.
That was a 3-week delay, so this was a little bit longer. But look, it is what it is. I couldn't change it. You've just got to crack on and get on with it. I had a week off.
Proper week off.
Yeah, I had a proper week off. Obviously, because I'd done it all apart from the fight. Got right up to the weigh-in. All the adrenaline was pumping. The highs and lows of fight week. So I had a full week off, got back into training, got back into sparring.
You talk about the adrenaline pumping and the highs and lows of fight week, because we were so close. I mean, we had a brilliant Thursday press conference, literally at the time the Queen was genuinely passing, 10 past 3. That's the crazy thing. Did you have, after it was called off, did you have a sort of the letdown that you sometimes have after a fight, that sort of where the adrenaline floods out, or have you kept it bubbling and boiling?
Yeah, it definitely, because that when I got home that week, I spent about 3 days in bed.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's normal for a fight week for me.
That's normal after a fight, but you hadn't had a fight.
Yeah.
So there was like muscle memory sort of.
It was more because of the ups and downs with the Queen. I remember on the Thursday night watching and thinking, this isn't going to happen, this. If she leaves, I'm not getting her back over here. That's what I was going through in my head. And then on the Friday morning, Mick Hennessy come up to me and went, oh, look, she's agreed to come back in a month. And I thought, thank God for that. But then was it on, was it off? The weigh-in got pushed back to 3.
That was horrible that day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So basically, it was unbelievable mental torture for you, in the sense of not just a build-up and a great camp and nearly having a fight, but then the strain, the mental pressure.
Yeah. I remember, so we meant to get picked up at 12:30 to go on the weigh-in, and then sat there 1 o'clock, got a message saying it's been pushed back to 3. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going for a lie down. So I was up bed. I went to bed to have a sleep. Anyway, it's been called off, whatever. And my mum was there, and my mum was going ballistic, saying, oh, this is going on, we're all stressed a bit, and she's upstairs having a siesta.
so you're upstairs just relaxing, doing what fighters do, and your family are downstairs wondering what's going on.
Stressing a bit, yeah.
So I love the idea that it was like a fight, but without the fight, so you still were in bed for 2 or 3 days. No bruises, obviously.
No. Like I said, it was an emotional roller coaster. 1 minute it was on, it wasn't on. We're going to do it, no cheering, this and that. Yeah.
So do you feel now like you felt when I spoke to you just after the weigh-in? Do you feel the same way now? Or not after, just after the press conference, excuse me. Do you feel that same way? Do you have that same kind of adrenaline pumping now?
A little bit more. I think it's a little bit more because obviously I want to get in there now.
Yeah.
I've waited long enough.
Want to get it done.
And a little bit more, yeah.
Well, I've spoken to everybody involved, Claressa, Michaela, and Alicia, and that seems to be the theme. They just want to get it done now. They all just want to fight.
100%. Yeah, like I said, you do a 12-week camp and then an extra 5. It's a long time.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a massive part of your life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
And how's Peter been?
He's good. He's been good. Same Peter, same old.
So, would you say that you're perhaps? I know that you want to get the fight over. Would you say you're a little bit, maybe a bit more relaxed now?
Yeah, because this is all like deja vu, isn't it?
Yeah, really weird, isn't it?
Yeah. What? I'm quite surprised that they've got to have one, but what is there left to say? Do you know what I mean?
I'm doing my best to get 5 minutes out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a time when no one got 5 minutes out of you.
So there we go.
There was a time, if I said I've just done a 10-minute interview with Savannah Marshall, people said to me, stop lying.
Breaking news.
You're breaking news, yeah. In those days when you used to come in.
I was a mute.
You weren't a mute. You just didn't say a lot. Leave off. You weren't a mute. You're not a mute now. Listen, you're brilliant. And I tell you when you're really good, after you've won, because your adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah.
And you're great in the ring then.
Yeah. The real me comes out.
A bit of you comes out then, yeah. So you've had another 5 weeks, 35 or 34 nights up to this point to think about it. Have you made any revised thoughts or feelings on the woman you're going to fight on Saturday night, Claressa Shields?
No, not really. I remember Peter said to me, look, don't even bother re-watching her. She's not going to change. If anything, you're just going to overthink it. He went, let's just keep sharp, keep an eye on the weight, and just go over the game plan a bit more.
Is there a danger that you could overthink it? Because that, in a fight of this magnitude with this kind of camp, which is now stretched out to 17 or so weeks, is there a danger of overthinking?
Oh, 100%.
And you haven't
100%. I think I'm too grounded for that.
Yeah.
If anything, I've built this up in my head to be an enormous task, and it is, and rightly so.
Sav, it's a pleasure and a delight talking to you, mate. I mean that every time. I'll see you soon, eh?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Enjoy yourself in the next few hours you've got,
I will.
And we'll see you after the fight.
Thank you very much.
A very relaxed and calm Savannah Marshall. I'm not surprised, but I was quite impressed by just how calm and relaxed she was. I also caught up with Claressa Shields, and it was a simple question, same one back to her. Had the break benefited her? Bear in mind, she had to fly back to America.
Absolutely. I was able to build off what I already had. I was able to get a break and go home and just kind of relax a little bit and then get back in the gym. And everybody needs different things, but I needed recovery. I needed to get some massages and ice baths and hot baths and things to get my muscles back relaxed and get them back home. But now that I was able to do that, I got right back in the gym and I continue working on the game plan.
Now you were brilliant at the time when the fight was called off. You posted, I think, the best, and I'm not just saying this because you're here. You posted the best tweet. You said, "I understand what the Queen means to everybody. I'm disappointed, but I respect everybody." And you got on a plane and you went home. That was an excellent and very classy thing for you to do. Whereas some people, especially some of the British women, they were really angry.
People got to realize that some things are bigger than them. And I think that the Queen passing, I know that the Queen passing was way bigger than our boxing match, way bigger than our beef that we had with each other, way bigger than women's boxing in history. It shut the whole country down, so you can't stop the inevitable, you know what I'm saying? So it was what it was, and I was respectful of it.
Now, you went back. Did you actually have any time away from the gym, clear time away from the gym, Claressa?
No, I think I spent time away from the gym when I was here. I spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday here. I flew home, and then when I got home on Tuesday, I probably went to sleep, woke up, and went right back to the gym.
And what feeling did you have when you found out that the fight was officially off on that, whenever it was, the Friday afternoon, just before the rearrangement? Can you remember what was going through your head then?
I just remember thinking, if this fight goes through, God is really, working in all of our favor who's been boxing. But it was just something in me that was just but it might not happen. But I'm like, if I get on the scale, we have a great chance of it happening. But then they pushed the weigh-in back, and I said, oh man,
this ain't happening.
Yep.
Your gut feeling was telling you that.
Yeah, once they pushed the weigh-in back.
Now the way this works, this fight, this and the Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgardner fight, this is just the latest in what's been an incredible 6 months. This 6 months is unparalleled. There's never been a period like it in women's boxing. Are you aware of that? I know you've got to concentrate on boxing, and I know you're giving yourself the GWOAT title, greatest woman of all time. But do you feel that kind of pressure? That kind of pressure that you're at the front of something here truly exceptional. It's not just a revolution; it's a takeover.
I keep telling people that I have not given myself the GWOAT title. All my accomplishments prove that. And I'm not the only one that call myself the GWOAT. So people saying that I'm self-proclaimed, that's like saying that Muhammad Ali is self-proclaimed GOAT because he called himself that first. It doesn't make sense. He had all the accomplishments. He beat the best guys, and that's why he considered himself the GOAT and why the rest of the world considers him that. A lot of the world consider me the greatest woman of all time when it comes to boxing. Some people say Katie Taylor, and other folks say me, but don't nobody say Savannah Marshall. That's period. So I'm the greatest woman of all time right now, right here, and that's not self-proclaimed. But back to the question was, this moment is huge, and I knew that women's boxing could get here, and I know it's a huge moment, and I'm happy to be top of the bill. And me saying that, you know, that I was the best, that's why I'm here. If I was trash and I really wasn't that good, why would they drag me all the way over here to the UK and put me the top of the bill? You could put Michaela and Alicia up there.
And just have you somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. But they wanted me here, and when I walk the streets in the UK, people recognize me and ask me for pictures. Like, that's different. You know, being from the US, there are US fighters who got world titles who will come over here. Men, nobody would know who the heck they were. But people know who I am because I fought against the best. I beat the best. I've caught out the best. And anybody who came knocking at my door, we just opened it. And we fought and we won.
Yeah. Do you think you get maybe more recognition here, more respect here than maybe you do if you're walking on the streets in America? I don't just mean in Fight Week in Vegas, you're going to get recognized. Fight Week in New York, you're going to get recognized. Yeah. I'm just talking about, I don't know, a normal Tuesday in Philadelphia.
I get recognized a lot everywhere. And
you should.
And I'm big in America. I just haven't been given the opportunities to fight at the T-Mobile Arena to be the main event, to fight at the MGM and be the main event, to fight at Madison Square Garden. I haven't been given those opportunities. But that's because sexism is alive in America, and they think that women's boxing is not big and that it don't sell and we don't have fans, so they won't give us the opportunity. UK boxing fans and the promoters over here have realized that women's boxing can be just as big as men's boxing if you treat it fairly and make the best fights.
And that's what we've done. What's it going to be like? Try and close your eyes. Try and imagine what it's going to be like. You've been in big fights, big world title fights, Olympic finals, gold medal fights. But you're going to be walking out, hopefully in front of about 19,500 people. What do you imagine that's going to be like, Claressa? You're smiling. I love that look on your face. What do you think it's going to be like?
I imagine me just kind of like enjoying the moment. I danced in all my walkouts, so that won't be any different this time around. I have a hype song every time I come out. I just know that my heart will be more black and solid as I get to the ring, because this moment is so important to me, and it means everything to me to win. And I don't think people know how bad I want to win. Until Saturday night after the fight, after I win, they'll be like, wow, she really wanted to win this fight, and she showed us that she'll put it all on the line. So I think that it'll be an exciting walkout, but I'll be cold as ice in there.
Cold as ice in there. And finally, I know that you were at the Katie Taylor-Serrano fight, so I remember speaking to you later after the fight somewhere when we were backstage. Do you remember when Katie came out? I don't know if you've watched it since, and it took her about 5 minutes to get to the ring, and she was walking like this, so slow. And I asked her about it afterwards.
Like Terminator.
Yeah, like Terminator. And I asked her about it afterwards. She said, I just wanted to enjoy every second. She was closing her eyes, and she was actually breathing in. You saw her going. Do you think there might be a little bit of that in Claressa on Saturday?
Nope.
Loving it?
No, I'm going to do my dance when I come out. I'm going to do a little rapping. I'm going to do my thing. And then I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to fight. Because I like to the main thing for me is like, I almost felt like when Katie was doing it, it was almost like, it felt like she was like she was about to retire. Like this her last big one.
That's a really good point
like.
you make, yeah.
You know, so it's like for me, I want them to know this is just one of many. And I want to get in here and do what I do best.
Because you ain't going anywhere, are you?
No, I'm not.
You're going to be around for a good while.
A good while.
Some MMA as well, mixing it up, going
both.
forward.
Both.
You know what, Claressa? It's been a delight talking to you over the last 10 or so years. Thank you so much.
Same here, thank you.
Claressa Shields there, honest and open. Now, about 20 minutes after I sat down with them individually on my private little sofa, they took to the stage. And it was heated at times, it was fabricated at other times. But there was something kind of odd about it. I just got this sense that the two of them have had enough. They just want to fight. It's not just about the titles. It's not about putting wrong that defeat all those years ago in China, back in May of 2012, when Savannah Marshall managed to beat a teenage Claressa Shields in the World Amateur Championships. No, it's not about that. And it's not really hate. They just want to fight. But there was a really odd line that one of them used. It was a really odd line that Savannah used when she turned to Claressa at the end and she said, "What about, would you be my friend afterwards? Do you want to have a coffee?" And Claressa said, "You need to give me respect. You need to stop being mean to me." So Savannah said, "Well, when have I been mean to you?" And she said, "You've been mean to me for years. Trust me. There's a grudge at stake here. There's a rivalry at stake here. There's a showdown brewing, and it's about time too." I love this fight. I genuinely love this fight. And I know we've said it before, and Al Mitchell, who coaches Michaela Mayer, has said it non-stop. The women are doing what the men simply can't do. They're making these unbelievable fights happen. They're making dream fights become reality. Now, I spoke to Michaela Mayer last week, and that was on Monday's pod. I went to a gym in South London and got some quality time with her. So if you want to find that, it's on BBC Sounds. But today I grabbed hold of Alicia, stuck her down on my sofa, and I had to ask her about this extremely heated and quite nasty exchange she'd had with Michaela Mayer whilst making a head-to-head.
I triggered her.
Again.
And, it showed in the interview. She was triggered in that she felt that she has to just, again, prove herself. So that's all that is.
Now, when I spoke to you last, it was on the day that the Queen died. It was after that fantastic press conference where you and her were going at each other a little bit. And I spoke to you afterwards, and I got a sense that this thing has taken on a life of its own, this kind of, I'm going to use the word, this kind of hatred and animosity. It's quite strong between the two of you, isn't it?
It is.
It's quite
very
rare.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this builds the sport. This is entertainment. At the end of the day, I'm a competitor. And I told her, you're somebody I have to get through. You're in my way. I don't like you right now. I have great sportsmanship, but I don't like you. You're in my way. I will become unified champion come Saturday night.
And do you know where it comes from, this dislike?
Yeah, it comes from me being confident. It comes from me stepping up to the plate and telling her in her face that I'm going to beat her. No one has ever done that. All her fighters have fought her and went home. None of them has spoken up to say, "Hey, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to break your nose. I'm going to break your jaw." No one has done that. She's triggered by that. She doesn't like it.
And was that something you planned to do, or is that just evolve? Was it organic, as we say?
With the power I have, I can break anything.
We've seen that.
Yes.
But you can box as well, Alicia.
We've seen that as well. Beautiful boxer, and you'll see that as well.
Let me ask you, I know you're calling your way to go and face-to-face with people. Are you looking forward to this fight? You know what I mean by that? Not just the fight. Are you looking forward to it? Are you just desperate to get in there?
Oh, yeah, so desperate. Again, I've been training for a very long time. I've been in the gym since June. Just training camps back to back. I'm ready for this moment. I love to fight. I'm a competitor. I love the competition.
So I'm going to ask you this then. How does it end? How does your fight, multiple titles at super featherweight, end with Michaela Mayer on Saturday night at the O2?
By stoppage or knockout.
And one final thing. What do you think it will be like? Just close your eyes and imagine what it will be like coming out in front of 20,000 people. British fans. And we appreciate our female boxing in this country. What do you think that will be like?
I experienced it when we went to the Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fight. I envisioned myself that I will be in this position one day, and it came quicker than we thought.
Do you remember the two of us taking off our headphones and
Absolutely.
Just listening to that noise?
Yeah, it was amazing.
I was getting goosebumps.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I'll get goosebumps come Saturday night because I know everyone's there to see me.
That is brilliant. Alicia, thank you.
Thank you.
And it's no surprise that Baumgardner and Mayer got at it again. They really dislike each other. Now, top-ranked president Todd duBoef was here floating around. I like Todd. He always gives very honest and straight answers. Now, obviously, top-ranked promote Michaela Mayer, and they promoted her from scratch. And I remember him telling me a couple of years ago that when she walked into his office for the first time, he was there with Bob, and they both agreed that Michaela Mayer had it. And I think it's possibly that factor, that X factor, that Alicia Baumgardner most resents, because she's definitely got it, but she had to go the hard way to get to a situation where she's got it, if you know what I mean. I'm talking in circles, doesn't matter, it happens. Anyway, I grabbed hold of Todd, don't worry, he's going to talk about Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgardner at some point, but I had to get him first and ask him about Top Rank's biggest fighter, in many, many ways, Tyson Fury, and what was the latest with the big lad?
I just watch his social media, and then I find out what we're doing.
But it changes twice a day.
It's the only way I know what's going on. You just tune into Tyson Fury, go to his Instagram, go to his Twitter. I mean, he gives us the information. I have no clue until I watch it on social media.
And the crazy thing is, I know you're actually telling the truth.
I am telling the truth.
I know.
I mean, it's
frustrating, though. It would have been nice to get him out.
Listen, he would love to. All I know is this. He wants to fight again before the end of the year.
Cool.
That is what. The fact that this AJ fight didn't happen is a travesty. Yeah. That fight should have happened. Yeah. Two guys, two heavyweights, big brands, big fan bases. That fight should have definitely taken place.
When did you realize that wasn't going to happen? Before it was officially, well,
no,
it was officially KO'd 5 times or 6 times.
I mean, I thought it was all done, and then we were hoping to get a marked up version of a contract, and it just didn't happen. So it was like the fact that we didn't get comments back, I think, kind of made it clear that the intent wasn't there.
Okay, let's deal with this weekend. I've been around a long while, Todd. You've been around a long while, and I've seen some fake hype and nastiness and hate. I am telling you, I've been close to Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgardner when they are together, and that is genuine old school animosity between those two. It's quite frightening.
Who needs me? I don't need to open up my big mouth and promote this fight.
I need you because I like you.
Nobody needs me here. I didn't have to fly here. I didn't have to get a hotel room. I didn't have to sit on a couch and do an interview. These girls are better than anything we got. Only the big guy, Fury, may be better.
No, listen,
I'm telling you.
You're not wrong.
I mean, them on social media, right? There's another, I don't know what to say. I'm going to be at a press conference. Well, how am I going to introduce this fight? I mean, there's nothing to say. I have nothing
with a crash helmet on, I would recommend.
I'm just going to say I'm not going to get, I'm going to do this. I'm going to shut the hell up so that these girls could talk. Because you don't need to listen to me. You don't need to listen to any of the intros, nothing.
And when you're with them, when you're around them, you can see them. They're like pit bull dogs chomping at the bit. You can just sense. I mean, it's one of those, and it happens every now and again. We get a real fight where there's real animosity instead of fake animosity. These two, they've taken it to a new level.
I can say this. My wife watches this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right?
I'll never miss an episode.
All right. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night listening to this cat fighting going on there, right? Boy, I didn't know this was going to happen in my business.
This is real.
These two girls sound like those 8 girls. I mean, they are going at each other like you've never seen.
Todd, listen, it's always a pleasure and a delight to talk to you, even if you would rather be somewhere else other than on this sofa in the East End of London in an old cinema nightclub with me.
I'm glad to be here.
Thanks, Todd.
You got it, buddy.
So, I've got to tell you, there's really only one way to end. We started off today and it was fantastic. We had Ben Shalom, and then we heard from Claressa Shields, and then we heard from Savannah Marshall, then we heard from Alicia Baumgardner. And then top-ranked president Todd duBoef came along, and Paddy, the producer, said to me, "Bunsey, how can we finish his show like that?" I said, "There's only one man, and he's only got one name. He is, of course, Big Mo, the king of announcers." First of all, Big Mo, I've got to ask you this. You look like you were enjoying being on the stage close to all of those fighters today as much as everybody else. You look like you were loving it, Big Mo.
Well, obviously, I mean, we all work in the industry. We're all part of this. We work in media, but at our core, we're all fans of the sport. So, of course, I was loving it. I would love that regardless if I was a ring announcer or an MC. I mean, this is a historic night. This is one of the best cards I've ever seen, men or women. You know, don't get me wrong, I love that it's a women's fight. I wish we just called it a boxing card. This is a great card regardless of that. I mean, how can you not love it?
No, you've got to love it. And now, Big Mo, I don't really want you to give away too many secrets, but you are just known as Big Mo. There is nothing else. It's not Big Mo Smith from Calgary. It's just Big Mo. You're global, brother. You're global.
It's easy.
Well, I said for 6 months that you were from Scandinavia. What did I know?
I heard it in the
podcast. What did I know? Big Mo, you're global.
I love it. No,
you are just Big Mo, aren't you?
Hey, that's easy. I mean, my real name is Cody Momarts, but I figured, hey, that my crossword puzzle of a last name is too much. Let's shorten it. 2 syllables. Can't forget it. It's easy. Don't got to spend time talking about my name. Know my name, and we're on to the fight. That's all that matters.
And Big Mo, on a slightly more serious note, you're going to be in front of hopefully 19,000 people. We would have already had the Baumgardner and Maya fight, which can't help but deliver. It's going to deliver. And you're just about to call into the ring Claressa Shields, one of the greatest female fighters of all time, and Savannah Marshall, a woman hoping to become one of the greatest fighters of all time. Do you take a second there, a greedy second, to just breathe it in and enjoy it? Because you're part of it. I do it when I interview fight after Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder first, second, and third time. I'm in the ring interviewing them afterwards, but I always take a second, Mo, just to look at it and think this is as good as it gets. Breathe it in case it never happens again. Do you do that? Do you think you'll do that, Mo?
Look, I have 3 people, 3 different entities that I got to worry about. You got the promoter. They hired me, obviously. You have the fans, who that's my job to entertain the fans, the people that paid good money, that took time out of their day to watch boxing. They deserve a show. And finally is the fighters. And for me to have the opportunity, you mentioned Claressa, to give her the greatest introduction she's ever had. I promise you that.
Big Mo.
I am honored to be here. You're damn right I'm going to take a deep breath in because this is something that I've been working towards. I'm still young in the industry. I don't give a damn. I'm going to be the best announcer in the world, and it all starts on Saturday when I can introduce some of the best fighters that the world has ever seen. It is an honor to me. It is an honor to be here in the UK. It's an honor to be here on Sky Sports, to be on ESPN+, and to be here with you right now.
Oh, Big Mo there. Just missing out the BBC thing, but I had that for him. He is, without doubt, the boss man, the king. What a show. Big Mo, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the love that you give me. Thank you for the time. And I'll see you tomorrow at the weigh-ins and Saturday for the fight.
So Big Mo there, and if you've not seen Big Mo introduce a fight, you really need to. He's very entertaining. And I love the idea that he feels like we all do in this business. We get that sense of privilege in the position we have. What a fight it will be. Now, on Saturday night, we're on Sports Extra from 7:30 at the O2. And then at 10 o'clock, we switch over to 5 Live for Claressa Shields against Savannah Marshall. One of the greatest female fights ever on paper. And that's going back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Do whatever you want. You've heard from Claressa Shields. You've heard from Savannah Marshall. You've heard from the promoter, Ben Shalom. And you've heard even from top-ranked president Todd, duBoef. It's a big show. It's history. I've been Steve Bunce, and this has been 5 Live Boxing.
Let's get ready to rumble!
5 Live Boxing.